Hello there. I'm Scotty. You're not. Welcome back to Pick 10 Comic Book movie. Movies. Sorry, I got mesmerized by the clock. Going back and forth. Back and forth. I'm alive. I'm awake. I'm whatever. We are on Steel, starring Shaquille O'Neal. I happen to have a figure here from the Death and Return of Superman film set that it came with. A little steel there. Well, this is the Superman version up from that film, but it's close. So Steel is of DC Comics lore. He's one of those who comes out to fight after Superman dies, but there's no Superman in this film. So they have a completely different reason why he starts fighting crime. So this is one of the more notorious comic book movies. It came out the same year as Batman and Robin, and it is labeled as one of the worst comic book movies of all time. And while it's not winning any Oscars, and I wouldn't call it good, I don't think it's that bad. I haven't just rewatched it. I've watched it a couple of times before this. I never thought it was terrible, but I thought, this is the first time since I started reviewing movies that I watched this. I said this before. So I thought maybe it was going to go way down for me, but this just didn't suck for me. It has its bad parts, for sure. Like, Shaq. Can't act. Nope. I'm gonna get rid of crime. Don't touch my hammer. I got a souffle. I don't know. He can't act, right? Sparky, no. The story of this is that John Henry Irons is a military person who, after an incident, gets sent home and begins working at a steel mill. He starts finding that there are lots of crimes in his neighborhood, and so he, along with his Uncle Joe, or maybe just a guy named Uncle Joe, and his friend Sparky, team up to take down the crime. Now, one of the big complaints about this is that it takes too long. It takes about 30 to 45 minutes for him to get in a suit and fight crime. People, this is what we call an origin story. Yeah, it takes time. So the first scene of this movie not only introduces our hero, but our villain. We have Nathaniel Burke, played by Judd Does Barry Manilow know you raided his wardrobe? Nelson. That's right. The guy from Breakfast Club is playing Nathaniel Burke, the villain of this film. He's one of the bad things. He is generic, I want power and money villain. That's it. Generic villain. Although, for a mid-level superhero like Steel, I guess it's fine. You don't want one of the big bad guys to fight. Stop yawning to fight him. So, yeah. During a training exercise of this new special weapon, Nathaniel turns it way up too high and causes it to ricochet off one building, destroying that, and then bouncing onto another, destroying another one, causing a piece of wall, concrete wall, to fall on Sparky, which is John's friend and love interest, I don't know, which makes her paralyzed in a wheelchair. And yeah, and so Irons outs Nathaniel as the one behind it, and he doesn't get arrested for his action. He just gets kicked off, and then Irons gets discharged back home, where we meet his little brother, played by Ray J. Yeah, and his grandmother, who she's making a souffle. She's making a souffle. This is one of the only plot points in the movie that I just went, why are we doing this? She's trying to make a souffle, and it does come back at the end. She does make the souffle, but I don't understand why this was a plot point. So Nathaniel Burke, I'm gonna call him Burke. Burke, not because when I think of Nathaniel, I think Legends of Tomorrow. But hey, season 4 review coming soon. It's coming. Sometime. But Burke decides to go to this arcade manufacturer that secretly does weapons to try to sell him this super powered weapon. Okay, sure. The arcade is a front. Okay, I can get that. Cool. Burke later hires Shaq's brother. I don't know. But, they steal the weapon, and in a scene that's only there so that Shaq can witness what's going on firsthand, he's on a ride-along with a police officer played by Tembi Locke, who was Diana during the 5th season of Sliders. Hey, again, season 5 of Sliders review coming maybe sometime. I have to put it in and watch it, and season 5 is not the best. It's not the worst, but But he and his little brother are on a ride along when she gets an alert of something going down in the old neighborhood, and when she's driving, the thing goes off. There's an attack, and she gets caught in a fire, and she's injured. But we never see this character again for the rest of the movie, so I can assume she's dead. And it has no bearing on the plot other than this is what gets him to stand up against the crime. Right. So he first questions this gang member. So Burke, trying to get some help, goes to this gang member played by Hill Harper. You may know as the best friend in the Skulls. And boy, this guy is not solo at all. He's got like a metal having his eyes. He's cyborg. This has got an eye patch, is what it is. He got an eye patch, and I don't know what he's supposed to be. He's got 2, maybe 3 scenes in this movie, and all of them are just like, why is he here? He is in a different movies, acting all crazy weird. Before I continue, let's talk about music, right? When this movie starts, the theme song is a banger. A bum, 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 bum. I can't remember what it goes, but it's a banger, right? It's a banger. Bangarang. And then you have like every hip-hop R&B song from 1997, from the early 90s, I should say, in this. Including one from the late 80s. You want it, you got it, you want it, baby, you bust the move. She said, hello, come on, nice to meet you, fine fellow. That song. Whatever it goes, but yeah. I don't know. So, to battle this crime, he recruits Sparky, who has nothing to do with him. And is this me? Or did the actress think she was supposed to be also blind in this scene? He goes to talk to her, and she's like static, staring straight, not looking at him, talking as if she's blind. She's like, no, I do not want to help you. I'm going to stay here. She's not looking at him. And like, did she get blind too? And all of a sudden she just looks at him like, why was she acting blind? She wasn't even looking at him. What was going on here? I don't know. But rather than Shaq just convincing her, he picks her up out of her wheelchair and takes her out. Because he's Shaq and he's huge. And he can do that. This is where we get introduced to Uncle Joe, played by Richard, don't call me Shaft, Roundtree. May he rest in peace. That's right, Shaft. Shaft is in this movie. Yup, he's in this movie, and he's the one that helps create these technological things for him. He makes a suit that's made of metal. Well, no, it's made of rubber, but it's supposed to be metal. But you can clearly see this stuff made of metal, and it doesn't help when a piece falls off, and he's carrying it around, and it looks like a big piece of rubber. So he goes on patrol, and is fighting this crook who is stealing from this couple, and he saves this couple, and then this cop shows up. It's Tom Perry, aka Bilkins from Fast and the Furious, who is there, and he saves him too from getting killed from a car. That might have been now, might be later. I don't care. He saves him, and the cops are trying to arrest him because of he looks sketchy. He's a hero. He eventually gets away, losing a piece of his arm and almost falling off a building by trying to leap it in a single bound. You're not Superman. Although leaping in a single bound is from the bottom up to the top of it. He just jumped from rooftop to rooftop and didn't make it. So he gets back and he says, maybe we need to make a little bit of adjustment. And then he's talking about the hammer. So, this is a hammer. I like this. It's strong, it's sturdy. And then Richard Roundtree says, I prefer the shaft. Do you get it? Do you get it? Richard Roundtree, known for playing Shaft, prefers the shaft. Ha ha! Funny! Anyway, so they start to catch on that something's going on with Burke, trying to figure out what's going on. Although he never catches on that his own brother is working for him, I don't know. Which, by the way, I figured out that the reason why they have his brother working for him is so that Burke can essentially get all the information on his family and everything and where they live, so that he can frame Irons for all this. And he even puts a gun in the... And again, movie cops. Oh, we find gun, you're guilty. Fingerprints! They're a thing! I guarantee you brushed that thing. You're not going to find John Henry Irons' fingerprints on it. And he's dressed in the steel thing. He wears a glove. Yes, but if it's in his house, that means he would have to take it and put it... I'm just saying. I know it wouldn't completely exonerate him, but come on. Anyway, he gets arrested because, of course, he does, and the souffle goes down again because, again, she's like, shh, souffle. So then they crash through the freaking window again. So souffle goes... I couldn't do a souffle. I'm too loud anyway. I couldn't do it. I wouldn't begin to understand how that science works the way you have to. But he's in prison and they do the lineup thing, like the usual suspects. Everyone's lined up. And even though it's very obvious that it's Shaq, they have all these people lined up. And they have the couple that he helped save and return their money and stuff earlier. And the couple look at, that's not him, he was bigger. And they look at Shaq and they look at each other. And the guy's like, oh, look, I tell you, the guy was on our side. And he looks at his wife. He looks at Shaq, he looks at his wife, and he goes, and he's not here. So they bring in Tom Barry. They bring in Bilkins, the cop, who's looking around. And he looks directly at Irons, and he goes, no, it's none of them. Okay, did they not have cameras? Did they not have cameras? Because, or the cops not pay attention? Both of the people they asked to point out looked directly at Irons before saying he's not here. Well, they're not that dumb because they keep Irons in prison. Why? I don't know, because Sparky breaks him out a few minutes later, and then Sparky gets kidnapped. So it's up to Uncle Joe and Irons to save the day. Irons puts on a suit and goes after Burke, while Uncle Joe calls in the cavalry, which, by the way, the general in this is played by the guy from one of the cops from. No, it wasn't a cop. He was one of the good old boys. Yeah, he was one of the good old boys from Blues Brothers. That's right. I think it's Stephen Williams was one of the cops, And I don't know how I got those confused because Stephen Williams, he's African American, and Charles Napier is not. But I don't know. I thought maybe he was the other cop, the white guy cop, but no, that's a different guy. Kind of reminds me of the guy from Chips. That's not Eric Estrada, the other guy, but that's not him either. But I don't know. Anyway, so something that's kind of frustrating. They kidnap Irons and they just throw him on stage, and Burke just stands there delivering his black arms deal to these black arms dealers. You know, this next generation weapon. And the whole time he's giving this speech, Irons is just laying there. And I'm like, man, do something. It's the beginning of that MKTO song. Do something with your life. Do something with your life. We broke down. Tried to leave town. Shaq, get up off your ass. You're just laying there. I'm like, you are 7'1", covered in steel. Punch him in the face. Right? But no. How's it got? He wheels. Burke has his people wheel Sparky up onto the stage. So maybe that's why he doesn't do anything. But he just lays there. And then, of course, Burke is holding the hammer the whole time. And he's like, well, my hammer has that power. When he's naming off the thing. It's strong. Just put that switch there. And the trigger comes off. He goes, what do you do? Don't switch that red light or whatever. So he does and activates the magnet, which sticks it to his chest. And, you know, bad guy's defeated. Burke goes to jail. Blah-de-blah-de-blah. Save the day. We got a souffle. Bada bing, bada boom. Coming soon, a new single from Ray J. I don't know. Watching my Moesha. That was around this point, right? Anyway, yeah. And of course, they're going to continue crime fighting. Look, I'm not holding it to high standards. And I've certainly, a lot of people bitched and moaned and complained about comic book movies from last year, except for two. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse and Guardians of the Galaxy, which all meant are two good ones. And a lot of people were okay with Blue Beetle. That was good. It was a good movie. But all the other ones were like, man, Marvel's is shit. Ant-Man Quantumania is the worst thing ever. What? Look, I haven't seen the Marvels, so I can't comment on that. But Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania is good. I just don't think they should have killed off Kang. Clearly they had a plan for other Kangs, but we didn't know that till the post-credit scene came, and even then we were still unsure. And even now, with what happened to the poor bastard playing... Yeah, the poor bastard. I'm on his side in this, okay? I saw the footage. His ass was running from her. Yet he was still claimed guilty. Look. Courts, you do not need to side with a woman every time, especially when it's clear she's guilty. The only woman that ever didn't get away with it is Amber Heard. And that's because Johnny Depp is Johnny Depp. Apparently, this guy had a promising career, and now because of this bitch, ruined his career. And now other people are coming out of the woodwork, calling out stuff to people. Vin Diesel's got an assault charge on him now. And what a creaky think. It came a couple days after, this verdict. And I'm like, no, there's no way. No. There's got people going, ooh, she got away with it. I'm going to try. That has to be it. Otherwise, why would you come out of the woodwork after years and years of silence if it wasn't to ruin someone's career? I don't know. Anyway, back to Shaq, whose career didn't really go off anyway. What acting roles did he have? This, Kazam, Scary Movie 4, the General commercials, that one commercial for the cruise line. Ooh! Never doing commercials. Icy Hot turned Shaquille, which is cool. But anyway, I've never held comic book movies up to a high standard. I just want a fun comic book movie. And I got that with almost every single one that I watched last year. But everybody is shitting on the MCU. And to me, their quality has not really, they've been steady. They've been decent, except for the Eternals. And that's just because they're unnecessary. It's an unnecessary 3-hour film that I haven't even made my son watch yet. Because honestly, I don't think they're going to follow that up. But the problem is, people automatically thought, oh, Endgame was huge. Now we got to keep riding that train and make it bigger, bigger, better, bigger, better. No, we don't. And now everyone's holding that Endgame standard as the precipice. And now everything comes out and it just gets shit on because it's not like Endgame. Everything, except for the Eternals that came out from Marvel and the MCU, has been decent. I'll even say good to decent. I'll even say the Eternals was decent. It just is the worst of that phase, for sure. But I just feel like people were holding it too high of a standard. They're saying they have to all be fantastic films. But I think they were all good, again, except for Eternals. But they were all trying something. Even the Disney Plus shows, which I think are unnecessary, are doing fine. For me, I'm not watching Echo because it's unnecessary. And no one else should be watching it either. Let's make a pact right here with Scotty. No one watches Echo, all right? Pinky swear? All right, now you can't watch it, and I'm not going to watch it. So, there we go. Whose idea was it to base a show around a deaf woman anyway? I know she's deaf in real life. I'm not saying that, but I'm sorry. If I'm going to watch something, I want to watch it. I don't want to have to read. And I do put the subtitles on, but that's mostly because I got hearing issue. But if I'm sitting there and I got to constantly watch to read when they're going like this, doing the sign language, I don't care if there's a character in the movie. Like, her part in Hawkeye was fine. But a whole show? Pass. Anyway, back to this one I'm supposed to be talking about. Steel is not as horrible as people say it is. I'll give it a middle of the road because it's enjoyable for what it is. I don't hate on stuff. I just have a feeling when I get to another one that's not going to be the same thing. But we're going to roll the dice now. Nine, 10, 12. There's no 12. There's no 11 either. Come on. Honestly, I only... No, I don't. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. All right. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. Wait. I only did one. 1, 2, 3, 4. 8. I've only done one movie so far. Why is there only 8 in here? I don't... Huh? What? Right? No, Steel was the first one. Constantine was the... Constantine was the first one. Steel was the second one. This is... Okay. Shit. Was it this one? I don't remember. I'm just gonna go... It may have been the first one. I don't remember. Let's go with this. Alright. Sticking with DC. Jonah Hex. And the case is right here. The one that fell was Catwoman. That case fell. So, Jonah Hex is next. I have not seen this yet. But owning it since it came out on DVD. It's a family video one. So, despite owning it since it came out on DVD, I've never watched it. I remember going to the theater and seeing a trailer for it, but I never got to watch it. So, what are your thoughts on Steel? Leave a comment below. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'm Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one. Sorry about that. Come on. Do like Judd Nelson with the elevator. He has a magic button. Made the elevator fall down. Bye-bye. He does this. He goes...